Well, hello. Hope you are all doing well. Um, it is like after 10 p.m. on Tuesday night here in northern New South Wales, right near the easternmost point of the Australian mainland. And so there is a potential I'm a little bit drunk. Let's not hold that against me. Let's just um, delve into other topics instead, because a person's sobriety isn't necessarily a indication of their intelligence or their intellectual ability to grasp a concept, or in some cases their ability to discuss certain topics. In fact, I see inebriation as a lubricant to discussing logic and philosophy, as we shall say. But sometimes drunken philosophy is the best type of philosophy. And if I'm wrong, that's cool. That's cool. You know, you can show me where I'm wrong later on. Tonight, I just went out looking at the moon. And it turns out to be a fact that the moon is the greatest flat Earth, stationary planar Earth truth. Who would have thought, like, I just sort of like guessed it when I first went on to the non sequitur show and did my first debate. I just pulled that out as my first, simply because it's so obvious. It's so obvious. How can there be a moon wafting over the Earth if the Earth is doing all these things that heliocentrists insist upon? Yeah. Their model insists upon some over 1,000 miles per hour actual rotation. Well, the speed of sound is only like 767 miles per hour. But they insist upon this actual rotation at the equator, mind you, so we'll give them that. But then they say that the Earth is going around the fucking sun at 66,600 miles per hour. Now, if you put that down into a daily rate, that's 1.6 million miles per hour, or 1,600,000 miles per day. Sorry. This is what they're really thinking. The Earth is going around the sun, just to do slightly less than 1 degree per day to go around it. This is men of science tell us this shit, so we're expected to believe it. I really can't even detect even so much as a single centimetre, but we should just believe what we're told. Because fine, in white dresses, men in white coats. So this is what really gets to me, is they also tell us that the sun that we're travelling 1.6 million miles around per day, is moving at 500,000 miles per hour through the galaxy. So times that by 24, 12. So it's going 12 million miles daily as the Earth travels around it, as the moon appears to gently waft around us at a constant distance. That's why I love going out and looking at the full moon, as I've just come back from tonight, is because the moon tells us unequivocally, without a doubt, that the Earth is not moving. It's not moving 1.6 million miles per day around a ball of light going 12 million miles per day. Come on, get your fucking heads together and just realise that it's the most crazy concept to think that all these motions are occurring. Well, we can just go out and look at that beautiful full moon. And I actually like it more as it's rising up, because now that as I've come back a little bit later, it's like 10 towards 11 o'clock at night now. It was getting too bright, and it was really hard to focus on it, because as it gets closer to us, we're seeing it through less and less atmosphere, and so it gets brighter. But when you see it on the horizon and you're looking at it through all that atmosphere, oh God, I fucking love the moon. The moon is the absolute nail in the coffin of a globe Earth. Absolute. I mean, there's only like another 110 nails in that coffin already. I don't know how anybody can actually still believe in a globe Earth. Come on, seriously? Do you really seriously consider all these different speeds you say we're going through a void of space, a vacuum of space? Absolutely impossible. Done and dusted, just at the very thought, for anybody that's got any amount of critical ability to think. I know I had plenty of other things to talk about this evening. I've already forgotten the whole lot of them. There you go. Simple as that. The fucking moon disproves the globe like that. If you can find a single astronomer, a single NASA believer, or anybody an astrophysicist who can explain to you how the moon works, then good luck. Really good luck. Because, really question them and say, but isn't the Earth going 66,600 miles an hour around the sun? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, but isn't the sun going like 514,000 miles per hour through the galaxy? And they'd be like, what are you talking about? I say, well, let's just ask Google. Okay, Google. How fast is the sun travelling through the galaxy? The last time I asked, it was a different answer every time, but the last time was 514,000 miles per hour. Basically 500,000 miles per hour. The sun is travelling through the galaxy. As this spinning ball is travelling around it, 66,000. Oh, as Google will tell you. 67,000 miles per hour. They like to round it up because apparently some people don't like to see the figure 666, even though Google's logo itself is actually a 666. I don't know where I'm going to go with this tonight. I think I might just get drunk and no, all I really want to do is talk about the moon, and I've done that. So I guess this is sort of finished. Ah, that beer's a little bit salty. I was getting beer tips on how to make tasty beer, and someone said put salt in it, so I thought, oh yeah, I'll experiment with that. I'll use less next time. It's good for you, you know. I'm getting less cramps in my feet. So occasionally get cramps. It's only a Tuesday night, I suppose. I feel like pulling out the guitar and having a bash, but yeah, I do have a tenant renting out a room at the moment, so it's probably not the right thing to do when he's got to work at 5 in the morning. So I won't do that either. So now what? I know. Let's have another beer. This is one I prepared earlier. Damn it, I had so much to talk about the moon. So I'm just going to talk about the moon because it is one of my favourite topics. It really is. And lately, I've noticed a lot of flat earthers are coming out with more and more and more and more videos about the moon, as though they know what they're talking about. You know, some of them will call it a holographic projection, some of them will call it a reflection of something. It's really, really annoying to a truther. It's all I ever tried to be. I just try to tell the truth, tell it how I see it. And when I see these crazy theories, like even Eric Debate, you know, I'm a big fan of Eric, don't get me wrong. I've got nothing against the guy. I think he's done a great thing for the truth movement coming out. But what I don't like is the fact that he spread this rumour that the moon produces a cooling light and that it is somehow putrefying and that it produces its own light. I'm not a fan of that particular rumour at all. It's obviously not. It's obviously lit by the sun. Anybody can see it for themselves. Anytime you go out in the daytime and look at the moon and hold a ball in front of it, you'll see the exact same shadow, which proves that the sun lighting that ball is the same sun lighting the moon. It's really, really obvious. And so I guess a lot of people have had trouble with the phases. So the phases are really simple to understand. The moon takes about 50 minutes longer every day to make a circuit as opposed to the sun, which is on the fixed 24-hour circuit. So as the moon takes that extra 50 minutes, therefore the lit side of the moon facing the sun is going to be a little bit delayed every day. And that's why after the full moon, which we've got now, you will watch tomorrow, the moon will rise 50 minutes later, and so it won't be perfectly lit to our perspective down below looking at it. 50 minutes. That's a fair amount when you think about it. This is only 24 hours in a day. It's almost a whole hour. So it's almost an hour daily. How much later the moon comes and rises. And so seeing the lit face, well, we don't always see the lit face. The lit face is always facing the sun. We down here on the earth are not looking up at the lit face because we're just looking up at the bottom of the moon. That's all we ever see. I'm sure I've talked about this multiple times in the past. The bottom of the moon is the only face we ever see. That is why it never changes, because the top half is above our ability to perceive it. So we're looking up at the bottom, the illuminated part, and the top part, you know, it's ridiculous to call it the dark side of the moon because it's obviously lit most of the time. The only time it's not lit is basically on our full moon phase, and I guess maybe it is lit on our full moon phase. I don't know. All I know is that the whole bottom of the moon glows on a full moon, which is what it's doing out here right now, and looking absolutely fantastic. And maybe making me a little bit more crazy than I should necessarily ordinarily be. But I don't know. I love the moon. I love going out and looking at it. Except it's really bright out there right now. One thing I can say for fact, the Southern Cross is still where the Southern Cross always is. G'day Ryan. I see the first comment. The moon is magical. The moon is definitely something beyond our normal comprehension of what we'd expect of reality, but I don't think it's magical. I really do think it's a physical, spherical ball that has been put up there by certain beings or people that don't necessarily have our best interests at heart, but, you know, it's there. You cannot deny the reality of the moon. But what you can do is deny the heliocentric reality of the moon, because the heliocentric model with the Earth travelling, you know, as fast as it does, and the moon just staying a constant distance in a free fall speed around us, that's just complete and utter crap. Yeah, heliocentrism, as far as I'm concerned, 100% busted. I'd like to say 101%, but there's no such thing. Heliocentrism is just fucking done and dusted. Now we have to try and work out the reality of living on a stationary planar Earth. It's definitely not that far away. Dead right, mate. It's definitely not. When people with their cameras that can zoom in on, say, a billboard where they know it's, say, 50 miles away, shall we say, and then zoom in on the moon, and they got greater clarity on the moon, it kind of tells me it's really not anywhere near as far away as what they're trying to tell us. Yeah, I would hate to hazard a guess as to how far away it actually is, but I'd put it down to the fact of, you know, we see a giant jet airplane when we're massive, big. When it's like 5 miles up in the air, it's like this tiny, tiny little speck. So maybe the moon, when it looks like this massive ball, I would sort of like hesitate to guess that it's probably less than 50 miles away. Don't quote me on that because I'm not. Ooh, I really got to read that. Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere near as far away as what we're told. And I think that the atmosphere itself is very elusive. So the more atmosphere we see something through, the nearer it appears. But then as it's higher and higher, further away, yeah, about 50 miles seems to be about appropriate. And because, though, it is so high above this planar Earth, it can still be visible from a lot of places because of its height. So we can see it from all these different nations, or whatever we call ourselves, continents, simply because when something is really high, it's much more visible. And the only reason it appears inverted to some people is because some people are seeing it from the inner side of the equator. Some people are seeing it from the outer side, but we're still seeing the exact same thing. When you really nut it out, it's pretty much logical that we don't need all this global spinning Earth bullshit. So yeah, I think that's something we should try and look into, is work out the exact distance of the moon. I don't think it's possible, but to me 50 miles seems reasonable. 100 miles seems a little bit hard to fathom, but for all we know, it might even still be 1,000 miles. I doubt it though. And it's the same with the sun. 93 million miles away. I just think they've got a really poor perspective on light itself. For me, the sun is not necessarily a flaming ball of gas, to put it another way. It is some sort of portal into another dimension, and the only reason we see it at its particular height is because of the atmosphere itself. So the atmosphere itself is what creates this apparition of the sun. The sun is not a physical thing. It's pretty much like a black hole body. Yeah, it cannot be triangulated. Of course not. Because everybody that sees this apparition of the sun is seeing it through their own visual perception through the atmosphere, which gives it this illusion of existing. And of course, because it's going in a spiral around and around us, it goes up and up until June 22nd, then it starts coming back down again until December 22nd, which gives us our seasons. But the daily sort of daily visual we see of it, it's about 2 minutes either side, sunset, sunrise, because of the way it appears in the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a constant. The sun is something which is not a constant. It's a constant size circle around the equator, but it is not a constant distance away from us. And so as it gets further distant from us, it appears to be going north. And when it comes back down after June 22nd, it is to be going south, which makes it look as though it's going in a bigger and bigger circle. But it's just an illusion of light. I missed that. Hang on. The stars actually, I think, rotate slightly. No, I wouldn't like to say. The stars rotate on their own path. As far as I'm concerned, they all go around Polaris. All the stars. I see the Southern Cross out there again tonight, and I'm thinking, people tell me, oh, we've got this octans somewhere down here. I've never ever seen an octans. Never ever seen one. It's but if all the stars are just going around one body, well, that explains why everybody in the south sees the same constellations every night, because they're just all moving as one, slowly around Polaris. The sun takes its same path always around the equator, but because it changes slightly in its height, it will appear to be going up or down depending on the time of year. That's what gives us our seasons. The moon, it's a little bit trickier, but the simple explanation for the moon is that it just takes 50 minutes longer each day to go around on the earth. And so the part that's illuminated by the sun, I really hate it when I hear people tell me that the moon produces its own light. When I hear people say that, I'm thinking, oh God, you're not a very intelligent flat earther. The moon is obviously illuminated by the sun. And because it takes 50 minutes longer each day to go around us, that's why the lit side gets closer and closer to the sun until 2 weeks later, the new moon is completely facing the sun. Problem solved. Don't complicate anything. Make it as simple as possible and see what you're seeing without making up bullshit. I mean, when I hear people say that the moon produces its own light, all I hear is, hang on a second, here's a fucking dumb cunt. Sorry, did I say that? Here's a really idiot making up their own theories to try and agree with what they want it to be. It's tell it how it is. Tell it how you see it. Do you see the moon making its own light? What possible theory can you make up to say the moon produces its own light? And you know what they say? Well, it's charged by the sun. It's like, hello? Isn't it easier just to say it's illuminated by the sun as we see it? Exactly as I said before, when you hold a ball in front of the moon in the daytime and see the exact same shadows. It's just simple. Don't complicate shit. I might have to go to bed shortly. Damn it. I know I had lots more to say about the moon. It's the moon, because it's a full moon, of course. Next major issue is what is happening with the lunar eclipses. The lunar eclipses, first of all, I always like to explain the solar eclipses because, as I've explained before, the sun itself, when it's nearby, it not only illuminates the earth, but it illuminates the atmosphere. And that is why the sky glows blue, because it's nearby, and it glows blue-white. And when the moon is nearby at the same time, the sun illuminates the lit part of the moon, but the sky is too bright for the unilluminated part of the moon to shine through those illuminated gases. And that's why a lot of people say, well, we can see blue sky behind the moon. I was like, no, you're not. You're seeing blue sky in front of the moon. But the illuminated part of the moon is bright enough to shine through it. And that's what happens. But as the moon gets closer and closer over the period of the month, to the point where the entire lit side of the moon is facing the sun, that is the new moon phase. And because it's in the middle of the day where the sky is illuminated by the sun, that is why we can't see it. Occasionally, once in a I shouldn't say blue moon, should I? Once in an eclipse moon, once in a while, the moon will actually pass between us and the sun, and it will eclipse the sun. And that's why we call it a solar eclipse. The lunar eclipse is a completely different phenomenon. The solar eclipse only ever occurs on the new moon phase because the moon is so close to the sun. The whole lit side is facing away from us, and that's why we can't see it. And so people sort of complain about, well, why can't we see the moon if it's eclipsing it? Shouldn't we see going too bright because it's daytime? Very, very fucking simple. Pardon my English. But the lunar eclipse is a completely different phenomena. Thanks, man. The lunar eclipse is because there is also another celestial body up there near the sun. And the way I proposed it some time back, and I keep pushing this one, and I'm going to keep pushing it until somebody proves me wrong. I think that certain beings made the moon artificially from minerals that were mined from the Grand Canyon. I think that the moon is not a space body being type of thing. I think it's something that's full of helium or hydrogen perhaps. And I think that when they first did it, they got it wrong. And so there's a second body that didn't go into orbit, that doesn't go around the Earth and create the tides pushing down on the salt water. So this second body, I just prefer to use the word Rahu, or the name for it, the term, because it's the one we've adopted. It may not necessarily be the exactly right term, but I think that there's a second moon or celestial body out there. I call it Rahu. I also call it a second sun or a black sun, because every now and then you can find pictures where somebody has picked up a picture of a second sun at sunset. That's what I call Rahu. And I think that every now and then on the new moon, full moon phase, this particular celestial body gets between the sun and the moon, and it blocks the sun's light from shining on the moon. It looks like it. If it was the Earth shadow creating the shadow on the moon, then why the hell is it coming from this weird angle from somewhere else? No, it's just another celestial body which does it once in a while. And then when it does, when it's fully blocked the sun's light, the Earth's light, Earth's glow, shines up and lights the moon up. And that's why it's red, because our atmosphere absorbs all the blue light spectrum. When the blue light spectrum's absorbed by our atmosphere, the only thing that gets through is the red light. So we see a blood moon. Trust me, when I was the biggest globe head some years back, let's just say 10 years, I reckon it'd be close to it, I really wanted to go and watch this lunar eclipse. And when I watched it, I'm really in tune with this shit. I know what I'm talking about. I know that the sun has gone down behind the Earth because the Earth is spinning this direction. Then all of a sudden, this shadow comes across the moon from the completely wrong direction. It's coming from up here. I'm thinking, it does not make sense. There's no way that makes sense in the heliocentric model, which I fully believed in. I'm like, this is really fucking freaky. Here I am in the middle of a lunar eclipse, a blood moon, while the sun is down behind us and the shadow is coming from the wrong side. It's definitely not what causes a lunar eclipse. I will definitely say, no problem, that a solar eclipse is caused by the moon. No problem there. But a lunar eclipse is caused by Rahu, the dark body blocking the sunlight from the sun hitting the moon, and then the red glow comes up from the Earth. I just want to see that last comment again. Sorry, Ryan, I did miss that one. Yeah, mate. Cool. Yeah, the more we consider shit, I mean, truth. Exactly, we're riding out the cracks, mate. The more we think about stuff and talk about it, in this modern day age, as opposed to these people living in, they were really living in prehistoric times. A lot of them. The ones that thought we lived on a spinning ball. I feel sorry for them, in a way. But then again, when I get these people come up against me and they say, "Fight the flat Earth," I feel like, you deserve to be fucking into the ground. I got no time for wankers like that. I can't wait to have another live debate with Quaid. He really thinks he's up for another one? Bring it on. Just trying to think now what's the next topic to talk about, because honestly, there's a flatfish is back. Oh, good. Yeah, it was, mate. It really was. We determined it was flat back in the I can't think of it now. It escapes me, you know. I've observed a lot of knowledge and stuff over the years, and sometimes it just doesn't come to me in an instant. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Really appreciate you coming around, and you made some really good comments. Helped the conversation flow. You're a good man. Love you, bro. The more truth as we get, and start, just questioning shit. We don't necessarily all have to agree on everything. But the more questions we get, just questioning whatever and everything. Question everything. Don't ever take anything for granted. When I was driving home the other day, just took it for granted that my tyres are going to do the right thing by me. Had one blowout. Next thing you know, the car's doing a fucking death spins, death roll. Thought I was going to die. Fortunately, for me, not for you or the person whoever caused it. I survived. And here I am, still surviving. Hold on a sec. If I plug this in, extra time. So basically, yeah, I'm just talking about the moon. The moon, the moon, the moon. That nearly worked. The moon, the moon, the moon. I have 100% debunked the heliocentric model with the moon. Yes, you can look it up on Fight the Flat Earth. Probably wouldn't even share the link on his channel, but it's the Non Sequitur Show. My first opportunity to ever live debate somebody. The first thing I came out with was the moon. my second time I came out with was the moon. Neither one of them, neither one of these globe experts trying to debate against, some simple, idiotic flat earther could come back with a response about the moon. You tell me how the earth is going, okay, fair enough, it spins at 1,040 miles per hour, but it's also apparently going around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour, as the sun is going 514,000 miles per hour. So how is this moon in free fall speed keeping up with us while it's behind us and in front of us in a vacuum of space? The moon every time debunks the fucking globe, let alone water level, all the other basic shit we see all the time. I mean, I had a lovely walk out there tonight looking at the moon. I fucking love the moon. It's like, because I'm a Cancerian and I'm told that the moon is my ruling planetary body, I've taken a little bit of extra special attention to trying to understand what it is. And what I can see, now that I'm a flat earther, what I see is that there are no other celestial bodies in existence. Like celestial lights, yes. We've got our flat, planar, stationary, physical Earth that we live upon. And the moon was put up there to trick us. It's put up there as the only other physical body in existence. The only other one. Probably, as I say, full of helium. I would think helium would be it's the only way to explain it. But that's where the great deception comes in. Because we can see that as a physical almost terrestrial body, it's given this illusion then into other people who like to think that we just live on a spinning ball, that then therefore the universe is full of spinning balls, somewhat like it. How easy was that? All you had to do was create one moon. And I mean, it wasn't that easy. Believe me, the more I think about how hard it was to create that, but the effort was worth its while. That's how they've created this illusion that the entire universe is full of other celestial bodies. The great deceiver did a very good job there. I can almost see him and feel his fury. He's really pissed off because I bust all his fucking lies. How you doing, Pluto? Good boy. Come on, fetch. Can hear my dog getting a little bit cranky out there. Can't imagine you'd send a minion. Anyway, I should probably end this video because there is a certain someone who is not happy with my presence. I mean, there's a lot of certain someones, but they're just nothing. There's a certain someone. And I'm here for you, my friend. I did just see a couple of comments, but I couldn't read them because this phone is really small. Oh, damn it. I always do that. Phuket word. Oh, awesome, man. Hey, good on you, man. Glad to see you. Big fan of your channel. Always stick up for you. Wow, I feel honoured. Phuket word. Awesome, dude. Thank you. New perspective said, first time hearing your stream, cheers. Yeah, cheers. Hey, this is how I cheers, Aussie style. It's only a 2-litre bottle, but oh. I do have a lot to say. A lot to say. And I'm looking forward to my next opportunity to have a live debate with somebody like this little piss hand called Fight the Flat Earth. Because you know what, Quaid? I've been very patient and tolerant. I've been very patient and tolerant. Thank you, my man. Probably I should just talk, you know, like maybe that would keep viewer interest and likes. Go mental. Yeah. I just don't have it in me. I'm not mental. Um, I just want to see sanity. Sanity, reality, beautiful full moon out there, looking just great. Seeing chemtrails pisses me off, but you know, we can talk about it. Get mental. I fucking should one of these days, eh? If I went mental, it would be with a cord. Not a real big one, mind you. It looked like that little one I left on the floor somewhere over there that I can't see. And I just tip over all the bankers' tables. Hmm. They keep changing the rules that makes it harder and harder to tip over their tables because they make it electronic. And so if you tip over, they still have a record or a balance or something. But at the end of the day, the truth will prevail. And they know that. They know that. I tip the scales to balance to make it look like they're winning. But they know. They know they can never win. Truth always prevails. And what the... Why is that so empty every time I go to grab it? Damn it. I have to grab the big one. I'll strain a little bit off. A bit of sediment, isn't it? Oh, that'll do. Now I feel better. Much nicer. So I guess at the end of the day, I might have to make a final statement. Phobias, flat no. What do you mean by that, Eric Lucas? Are you a little bit like loopy? we all know the Earth isn't flat. What we know is that water level seeks and finds its own level. And so all the continents of the Earth are that which is measurably above water level. What else you got? You really think that the water curves around a ball and has thousands of miles high bulges of water? You must be a single drop on a penny. You're going to use surface tension to try and prove a globular Earth. You're done and dusted, mate. You got nothing. A drop of water on a penny proves thousands of miles of globular Earth. Well, what about the penny? Is the penny flat? See, I love it when globers come in. The whatty wouldn't, but you just said the water wouldn't be. But I just asked you, is the penny flat? And what happened if you drilled a little hole into your penny? Is the water still going to stay like a little globule on the drop rate? It's a ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Anybody can do a proper experiment of actual water, and you only need like a cupful to see that that one drop does not prove a spinning ball. Someone make a stack of water that would prove that. Yeah. Can you actually pull water? Like they say, oh, the moon pulls water. A pinhole would bend water. What the fuck? Hang on. Shit. Stop doing that. A pinhole would have water bend at top and from the hole. A pinhole. That was the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever read in the whole day. And I read a lot of ridiculous things every day. A pinhole would have water bend at the top. How would a pinhole have water bend at the top? Shouldn't it all be going directly towards your centre of gravity in your ridiculous model? That's what I'd like to know. How can a pinhole have water bend at the top of a hole? There's no bending on spaceship spinning ball Earth. There's no bending. No, it just goes straight towards the centre. You're still saying the same shit. Okay. Yeah. Well, no. Sorry. If you're on spaceship spinning ball, everything would be spinning outwards because it's going at 1,040 miles per hour, pushing everything out. None of this fucking inside bendy bullshit that you try and think you're saying. Oh, crikeys. I'm glad I stayed up this late because... Oh. What else you got? So, hang on. Oh, God. The sun has gravity too. Oh, you gravity fucking believers. They're just hilarious. I could sit here all night and fucking debate this shit, but gravity does not exist. Period. Get over it. Oh, but my attraction of mass. Oh, god damn. Hang on. Isn't the moon a mass? So why isn't the Earth attracting it to it and staying there? Yeah, I'll just let it float around for fucking ever. The whole idea is just fucking ludicrous. Let me fucking look at these last comments, because Jesus. It's 6 and I've been up for 2 days. If the Earth was flat, we would have to be falling down. Oh, you might be trying to get me. Okay. Maybe you're catching on. That's cool. I hate having to bloody scroll. Stop scrolling. Just get back to whatever. I'm sure it will revert. Yeah, there we go. It's reverted. So, yeah, mate. There's just no way that whatever the fuck I was going to talk about would work in reality. I'll talk about something else later. Hang on, I missed that one too. Magnets? Get the fuck. Who the fuck are you, Eric Lucas? I really actually want to read some of these because how do you stay on the flat earth? How? Very fucking basically. Everything in reality works according to the laws of density and buoyancy. The physical plane we live upon only works because density and buoyancy have their laws. The laws say if a thing of mass is greater than a thing of less mass, shall we say less density, like fucking air, it will just drop through it and find the place of its rest according to the laws of density and buoyancy. And that's the the law that applies across the whole physical universe that we are living upon. We live upon the physical plane because everything finds its place according to density and buoyancy, and that's what's underneath our feet. If it was above our heads and it had density, it would probably fucking crush us. But it's not, because it's below us. It is really fucking simple and obvious, and very fucking obvious. And I get sick of explaining it to numb cunts who, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I get sick of saying it to numb people who don't just look around and observe and see reality for what it is. It is what it is. I guess I should look at a couple of these comments, because I'm making a few there. So a fat guy has more density than an ant. It appears flat. I'm not numb. I observe. Eric, mate, for fuck's sake. No, you're just being a dumb cunt. I don't have a lot of time for dumb cunts, really. Like, it is what it is. You can see it. You can see what an ant does. You can see what a fat cunt does. You know what's going on. Don't fucking rile me, mate. Where do you see the curvature then on your big fat ball? Where is it? Where does the ocean curve on your big fat ball? Everything seeks its level. On a little fucking tiny drop on a penny. Oh, mate. Okay. Next. Put water on the bottom when does it turn? So you're still trying to think in this heliocentric modality where there's still a bottom. A true flat earther does not think there is actually a bottom. We think it's just density. Down and down, and it gets more and more dense because we're at the bottom of the fucking universe. We don't try and make up shit that we can't understand. We just look at what we observe and we say it for what it is. You trying to think we live on some fucking space pizza or what's underneath it? No. Whatever is underneath is just more and more dense. Simple as that. There's no bottom up, mate. This is the bottom. We live at the bottom. The only physical plane of the universe. It's the only way I can understand it. It's the only way I can comprehend it. It's how I see it. If somebody wants to try and debate me on it, you bait me. But I really appreciate somebody that actually had some intellect, because I'm really getting tired of fucking coming up against morons. Not that I'm saying you're a moron, of course, you know. You're probably a really good bloke and probably sit down and have a good beer, you know, if we sat down. Yeah. But seriously. Seriously. I've got nothing but cheers, Harry. Yeah, like, I don't mean to belittle people just because they are intellectually inferior. It's not my fault, and it's not your fault. Spinning the mace in space. Give it to me, mate. Give it to me. Because, yeah, I actually feel very sorry for the people who are intellectually inferior to me. And I don't want to try and appear as though, oh, you know, I'm superior. That's not at all what I'm out to do. Yeah. I'm actually here for you guys. I'm here for the truth. And that's why I do what I do. Hang on, mate, I'll check that out. Instead of spinning a mace, spinning a globe. Okay, go for it. You know that this mace that you're talking about with the globe is on like a 4,000-mile long rope. Do you know how fast that would be going? But anyway, knock yourself out. Yes, yeah, I'll hear you out. Yeah, we know that. Bloody bugger. Over again. Sorry. The gravity is like that with the Earth and the Sun. I think you need to explain yourself. Earth can spin anyway at once. Mm-hmm. There's no chains attached. So how do you explain the Earth staying a constant distance around the Sun? So, the Earth is staying a constant distance around the Sun, as is, of course, the Moon staying a constant distance around us. How does it do that if the Sun is travelling 500,000 miles an hour through the galaxy with nothing but a vacuum. Have a look again. Yeah, we've never seen an example of mass attracted to mass. So how does the Earth stay around the Sun? How does the Moon stay around the Earth? This should be simple stuff for a heliocentrist. They should be able to just tell us. What have they got? Fucking nothing. Fucking nothing. And so we just sit there and say, well, you've got fucking nothing. Hello? Your game is busted. The truth is, it fucking set you 3. 3? 4. 3. I left it. Yeah, well, tell us, Eric. I'm happy to hear it. I'm really happy to hear out your theory about how the Earth not on a chain, spinning around, and the Moon, of course, spinning around. It's not on a chain. I'd love to hear the theory because I've yet to hear a single person ever tell me a theory that works. But, you know, open ears. It is. Oh shit! I'll leave it at that. Open up again. Juan Carlos, the globe is dead, mate. If the Earth is spinning fast enough, water flies off the globe. Why are you saying this now, Eric? Aren't you the one trying to go against the globe? People are strange. Because it's part of it? Well, what? Part of what? What? So you are actually a flat earther, I assume. It's sometimes really hard when you're a flat earther, and I guess for me it's been really hard because quite often I come across some really good flat earth websites, and then all of a sudden you get some person seems really intelligent, but then he tries and tells you that the moon is self-illuminating. And if you're one of these people that's a flat earther that thinks the moon is self-illuminating, then I guess you have to look at some of the stuff I've already posted on my page. Anyway, I really enjoyed walking out tonight, looking at the full moon, and seeing it for exactly what it is. And the moon always glows according to the sun illuminating the face that we see. Hence why we don't see it on a new moon. Sorry, Eric, I didn't really see exactly what you said. Looks as though I have to go to bed. I'm quite happy to talk about the moon regularly. I talk about it all the time. Tonight being the full moon, yeah, I'll talk about it. Guys, read what I said. Okay, Eric, what did you say? It's a spinning globe on a chain is outward force as well. Yeah, well, that's exactly right, mate. Exactly. Outward force. That never, ever happens on the flat earth reality that we see. There is no outward force. And they call it gravitational force. Well, if there's a gravitational force, all that would be pulling it in. So it should crash into us. The sun is a different thing altogether. The sun doesn't have gravitational pull. It's the Nah, I can't believe that it pulls anything in. The sun has no gravitational pull. That's a bit crazy. Anyway, well, yeah, you're entitled to your beliefs. That's fine. But, no, the sun. The sun is actually on its own trajectory, and it goes around the equator. And over the period of a year, it moves up, and then it moves down. But it always goes the exact same circle around the equator. I've got multiple evidence for that. Yeah, I think it's got a maybe a propulsion, so it pushes against the salt water, but I don't think it's got any pull. I don't think anything's ever got any pull. Anything of mass never has pull. That's just crazy. But I do like the idea that it's got propulsion. What pushes density togetherness? That was a bit of a weird question, mate. Together. Well, nothing does. No. Things just come together if they want to. But otherwise, they don't. Oh, you're a funny dude, Eric. I do like you, Joe. You're keeping me amused at the moment. The moon and the sun both work as some sort of electromagnetic propulsion to push the tides around. That's about the closest as I can come to give you a reasonable explanation. Just like the sun base has mass. It doesn't make sense, dude. No, I've never said space is nothing. It's just obviously the gaps in between stuff, which is basically made out of gases. Oh, hang on, I missed another one. You're on a fucking roll here. Everything is connected. Yeah. Bloody oath it is. Everything is connected. Of course. That's just how it rolls. But I won't make assumptions based on hearsay. If I'm going to come up with a theory, it must be based on logic and evidence, and maybe, a little bit of intuition. But I'll never, ever base my theory on somebody else's fucking hearsay. No, Eric's going okay, he's alright. Oh, hang on, until I read this. Maybe he's a troll. The globe can be explained in the universal model. Yeah, okay, yeah, he's definitely a troll. Thanks, Juan. If the Earth is flat, the air would crush us. Why would it? It's still air. Yeah, it's still going to be the same pressure it's always been. That's just the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Okay. Eric is a troll. You're right. Oh, fucking hell, I nearly read that. Air is more dense than space, correct? And stay there. And the flat earth says there's just a bottom. Well, that's my opinion. Yeah. We're at the bottom of the universe. But how does that make air heavier than what it is? Come on. Use your head, man. Use your fucking head. Everything is what it is. Spine support 180,000 pounds of pressure between its. Sorry, Eric. I think you've lost the plot now, mate. I was entertaining you there for a little while, but seriously? For fuck's sake. know what? I'm just going to go to bed. I appreciate you guys that hung around and had a look at my channel for a little while. I've got a lot to offer, but sometimes I just get bogged down in crap. So I guess I'll just say good night. Eric, mate, you're not doing yourself any favours. Come on. What the fuck, mate? Guess I can't find anything interesting to talk about. Good talking to you guys.